It's always frustrating whenever you're out in public and find other people do not play by the same etiquette rules that you play by. I don't know that there's anywhere more frustrating than on an airplane. Mm-hmm. That's why hashtag tag today is
hashtag flight etiquette.
And it all started with somebody who decided that they were going to bring their own ingredients to make a meal on an airplane. They wanted to be healthy, so they decided to go with egg salad. That's not going to be bad for anybody, right?
You don't bring stinky food on a plane.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
I used to think that it really can't be that bad, like any food to be brought on a plane.
It's bad.
Then I was on a flight one time and somebody brought on buffalo wings onto the plane. And I love buffalo wings. I love the way they smell. Not on an airplane.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
601-995-1017 is our phone number. What do you think the worst piece of flight etiquette you've ever seen was?
It's something that I see all the time, and public FaceTimes drive me nuts to begin with. But if you're with your boo on FaceTime up until the flight attendant is saying, hey, put your phone on airplane mode, that's going to bother me.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
I would say for me, the worst piece of flight etiquette, it's actually probably about exactly a year ago today. I was flying up north and I was sitting here in Jackson on the plane, and I'm having a conversation with the guy sitting next to me, and there's a woman across the aisle in my same row. And the pilot came on and said, hey, we're going to be delayed by about 45 minutes, and then starts to explain what the issue is. And I just then resume my conversation. The lady sitting next to me shushes me.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
She's like, I need to hear what's going on. It's like, why? Are you going to fix the engine? Are you just waiting to see what the pilot says to see if you can be of some assistance? You moron.
Well, I mean, I admit I get anxiety when I can't hear stuff like that, but I would never dream up, like, if somebody doesn't have anxiety so they can resume their conversation, more power to them. I'm not going to turn around and be like, shh.
Yeah. Oh, I was livid. And then whenever the announcement stopped, I said, I'm glad I got to hear all that. Thanks. I was furious. All right, now yours. 601-995-1017. Chris, thanks so much for sending us this. It says 2 words, screaming kids. It's not the kids that bother me as much as listening to the, quote, gentle parenting as they beg and bargain with their kid to stop screaming.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
I will say the gentle parenting thing is extremely obnoxious in airports.
Oh, but the worst is just the ignoring it, the pretending like those aren't their kids.
I don't know. I watched a guy make a deal with his children one time to be like, so, all right, now if we do this, will we get to have ice cream later tonight? And it's just like, yell at them, please.
No.
Like be mean. John said, what's the deal with everyone standing up on planes before their turn? Wait 5 minutes in the aisle. Why not stay seated?
Hashtag flight etiquette.
Well, but sometimes you have to block the person from behind you.
Yeah.
Trying to get out before everybody else. I've pulled that move before. Stood in the aisle so somebody couldn't get past me.
Martin says it's one thing for those who take their shoes off on a plane. It's another to then put them under your seat, taking up bag space for the person behind you.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
Christopher says in-flight alcohol should be banned to ensure passenger safety and well-being.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
You're real fun at parties, Christopher. What is that?
Bonnie says, PSA, if you or your clothes smell like wet dog, do not get on a plane.
Nora says, flight announcements should include a rule not to play any media with sound on your phone unless you're wearing earbuds and earphones.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
Frank wanting to get in contact with a specific passenger. He says, passenger 13D headed to Chicago. Get some deodorant ASAP. Good Lord, you stink.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
We read one from somebody named Christopher who was complaining that they serve alcohol on flights. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I didn't even pre-read it before I started. And I'm like, this guy. And Chris, who had texted us also about hashtag flight etiquette, about the kids screaming and the gentle parenting and everything, he just followed up and said, please clarify that I am not Christopher. I don't know him, but I already don't like him.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
Chastity says people that use the recliner on a flight should have to Venmo the passenger that sits behind them.
All right, Cassidy.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
If it was rude to recline your seat, the inch and a half that it will go back, do you really think they would add that function to the seat? Come on. My gosh. What else do we have? I lost track.
Hannah says, I cannot describe the pure joy that I feel when someone sits down next to me on a flight and does not talk to me.
Hashtag flight etiquette.
I'm with that. I don't like chatting on planes.
I do.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you're that kind of person.
Yeah, it's like we're going to force you to be my friend for the next hour and a half.
No.
Adam and Allison in the morning.